We're now with John from the Harrogate Wargames Club, and we're looking at well, it's clearly a Romans versus Britons or Celts in general.
Yeah, ancient Britons. The tribes are revolting. Romans have been sent out to sort of restore order, yeah, that's the game.
And the interesting thing for me here is the rules that you're using, which is is it new or forthcoming?
Forthcoming, yes. So we've got we've been working with Rich, helping him play test it. So we've got a play test version. So we've been sort of doing that ourselves, and then brought this out and played a couple of games with other people in public, as it were.
So that's Rich Clark.
Too Fat Lardys.
Yeah,
yes.
so it's a Too Fat Lardys game.
Yeah.
Is it in the spirit of Too Fat Lardys games in general?
Very much so. So it's card activation. It's about leaders and big men activating groups. You've got lots of friction. So it's got a lot of the sharp practice DNA in terms of the way it operates. But also it's got some, I was going to say subtle, but maybe not so subtle differences. So the way the command cards used in this game are very different. So they allow you to activate abilities. So your Romans can use their cards to activate drills. So they can, if they're getting shot at by slingers, they can use a card to bring the shields up, which gives them a bit of protection. They can brace the shields if they're about to be attacked. The barbarians tend to use their command cards to activate ambushes. So the Romans are, certainly in this where we've got the Romans advancing into barbarian territory, a lot of the woods and the various other terrain pieces will have a deployment or an ambush point, and then the Brits can, or the barbarians can then ambush or deploy. So the Romans are very much sort of moving through unfriendly territory, and if they get ambushed, it hurts.
Okay, right, good. And it's got a suitably silly name, like.
Yeah, I think Infamy, because they're all got an infamy. Yeah. I think Richard talked about having a more sensible name, but I think generally everybody said no. Actually, it suits the Lardy way of doing things. But actually, having said that, while it's got an amusing name, I think the beauty of a lot of the Lardy rules, and these rules as well, Infamy, is that there's an awful lot of research goes into it. I mean, what Rich has done is he's gone right back, he's done a lot of reading, and I think one of the things I like, which I've not seen before, is barbarians aren't just barbarians. Your ancient Britons will fight very differently from your ancient Germans. We've got the way that chariots work. Spent a lot of time in terms of that. So you don't have your chariots charging in, but your chariots are very mobile. But what they can do is they deploy troops. The troops can jump out of the chariots, and then the chariots actually then form a rally point. So if the British troops are beaten, rather than fleeing, they will flee back to the chariots, jump in the chariots. It'll help them to rally the shock off, and then they can be a bit more effective. So it's little things like that where he's really tried to bring the flavour of the period and the troops, as much as we know about it, be as historically accurate as we possibly can be.
Very good. Just tell us a bit about the figures on the table. Are they which manufacturer?
They're all Wargames Foundry. So they're a bit of an old range now, but it's the old Perry range for their Imperial Romans, and their Celts. They're beautiful figures, and they've been around for a long time now, but I think they stand up with pretty much anything that's available in the market. They're lovely figures.
How about the buildings?
The buildings. So I've got a British village, which is hovels, which I think are massively underrated because people often don't know about them. But they're resin buildings. They're actually really good value. And I bought those many years ago, painted them up, used a bit of Renedra plastic wattle fencing, based them up, and they're great. We've got a Grand Manor tower, and then the fort was scratch built. So I didn't make it, unfortunately, but somebody built that for me, and it's always been a nice sort of centrepiece. So yeah, real mix in terms of the buildings.
Right, well, great. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Your game. Cheers.
Thank you.
This video has been brought to you by WI Prime, Wargames Illustrated Magazine's online members club. View more videos or find out more about WI Prime by following these links.